since growth is really vitally important, and I've never uh, 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 varied from that, from beginning with my PhD thesis, choice of techniques, to including my collection of papers called Growth Economics in 1970. I have been a great believer in the importance of economic growth, but not as an end in itself, as a means to enhancing human life. And for that we have to do something. And it's not the case with the Chinese are achieving more. It's not because they're not doing anything. We spend 1.2% of GDP on governmental health care, and China spends 2.7%, more than twice, even in percentage terms, and they're richer. So it's in absolute terms much more, much, much higher. And they reap as they sow. And the same is true in many other fields, in education, in many other areas. So if the contrast with China brings out the fact that their achievements were connected very much with a combination, in a way that Adam Smith thought about, of facilitating the market economy, but at the same time developing human capability, trying to have an educated, healthy labor force. That actually generates a much bigger bump in well-being of people. Bangladesh has done it because they are far less privileged than we are in terms of income, primarily by emphasizing gender inequality, gender equity. I'm very encouraged to see how many women are there in this room. I'm really delighted as an old feminist, and I continue to describe myself. The fact that I'm a man doesn't prevent me from describing it that, because that's the cause. And in the context of that cause, I think what Bangladesh has done is by making greater use of women's agency. A big difference was their independence in 71. And they had more women in healthcare, family planning, more women school teachers, and women in labor force too, in a way that they're produced to become a much bigger garment seller and many other commodities than we are. So I think that's another part. So that if the Chinese lesson is that facilitating the market economy depends partly on helping this, producing the state, a state which is adequately supportive, which is, I take it to be one of the central lessons of Adam Smith. China has pursued it much better. And I think the issue of gender inequality, that is more in John Stuart Mill territory, that unleashing women's agency will make a very big difference to the world.